Welcome to episode 628 of the TerryWilson3.com podcast. Today, we're diving into a game-changing tool that's right at your fingertips. But are you using it to its full potential?
That dude is crazy.
QR codes are everywhere. But most business owners and entrepreneurs have barely scratched the surface of what they can do.
I don't believe him.
In this episode, Terry's going to show you 60 creative ways QR codes can save you time, streamline your business, and even put more money in your pocket. Whether you're looking to boost sales, grow your brand, or improve efficiency, this episode is packed with ideas you can start using today. And here's the best part. Terry has put together a full e-guide covering all of these strategies, and he's giving it away for free.
Man, that dude is crazy.
Stay tuned until the end of the show to find out how you can grab your copy. Now, let's cue up the QR codes and jump right in.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com.
TerryWilson3.com.
Inspiring, informative, and entertaining content for the entrepreneur and small business owner.
Well, cue up the QR codes, baby. Old technology meets new AI. I fell into a little bit of a technical honey hole here, just playing around with some old technology. But to bring everybody up to speed, because I know different people at different places are listening and watching this podcast. So I know my people. So when I say a QR code, what is a QR code? It became real popular during COVID. I mean, you couldn't go to a restaurant without seeing a QR code because they were putting their menus in digital format. But QR codes are those little weird looking squares. It's a quick, QR stands for quick response. And it was invented back in the 90s. I mean, early 90s, I think like 94. By actually someone from Toyota, of all places. So they've been around forever, okay? And, so it's old technology. This is not new technology. But what makes it unique and why I'm doing this podcast is twofold. Even though this is old technology, I am amazed how many people don't know how to use it. Don't know what it's for. Don't know how to create them. Don't know how to use them. Don't know when not to use them. So I said, hey, I got to, and by the way, stay on the podcast. I'm going to go through 60 creative ways. I'm not going to be able to do all 60 of them, but I wrote a guide. I'm going to hit the highlights here. I wrote a guide, an e-guide, real easy, like a 5-6 page guide that gives you different ways that you can use QR codes no matter what business you're in, no matter what you're doing. And they're just time saving, just easy to do, make life easier for your business, your ministry, your church, your school, whatever it is. Even at home, there's things that you can do with a QR code that makes it so much easier for everyone. And so I'll get into that in just a second. But here's the thing I fell into just yesterday. As you know, we've been talking about AI now for a year and a half since the sort of exploded, the open AI stuff started exploding on the scene, and how to leverage it for business and how to use it to scale your efforts. And it's like putting a 10x, 100x actually on your output, your productivity, if you know how to use it correctly. And in full transparency, I'm still trying to learn how to use it correctly. I was just in a lunch a couple weeks ago, and we were talking, and the gentleman had an experience with my AI bot where he was calling in and talking to, I call her Lisa, talking to Lisa. And, it still needed tweaking because he says, the only thing is it's frustrating because I call in and she already has my information. She knows the number and she's asking me for my email address and stuff. I said, well, that's a programming issue. That's all that is. And so I said, I appreciate your feedback because it helps me continue to train my bot so that it's not wasting, because the point here is to get people the information and the satisfaction they need in the quickest way possible, not to create and present more obstacles and more frustrations, because if it does that, it's defeating the purpose. So AI is huge. Well, a couple days ago, I got to thinking, how can I use old school QR codes with new school AI stuff? And I just started going down a rabbit hole. And folks, let me tell you, for instance, this is just free. I'm going to give you this one. But I have in my app, I have some automations that are already set up, that when I'm out in the highways and the byways and I'm talking to people and meeting with people and business owners, pastors, leaders, individuals, based on the context of the meeting, I've got something for them. And I am always saying, hey, here's my number. Text this to me. Just say this. And I've already got my system set up to send this to you. So if I'm wanting to if I meet a pastor and I want to give him a book, if I meet a health and fitness coach and I want to give them some content, if I meet someone that, hey, fill out this survey real quick. This is a company I work with, and just for filling it out, they're going to give you $50 in free Amazon money. Text me this and I'll send it to you, and just give you sort of like an example and a demonstration of how my system. So I've got all of these automations set up. It's basically, it triggers a keyword. So when you send in a particular keyword to my text number, my automation responds. But here's the thing. AI takes it a step further, and then as the automation is compelling and provoking a conversation, the AI is having that conversation with them to the extent it takes them to whatever end result I'm looking for, whether it be an appointment, whether it be giving them something else, upgrading them to something. I've got different verticals or funnels, if you will, that I have different goals set for each one. Sometimes I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just trying to build a deeper relationship with that particular vertical that I'm working in. It has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with just building relationships and being a resource for them ministerially or, coaching wise or something else. So it's not always just about business, but I've got these and I've had them, and that's what I've been working on for years and advocating and teaching other people how to do. But here's the thing. With AI, there's all kinds of things that you can do because at the end of the day, AI is nothing more than QR with QR codes. QR codes are nothing but prompts. And anything you can prompt in your phone, you can prompt with a QR code. So if I want them to engage this vertical I've already got set up to be triggered by, for instance, a text coming into my number, I can have a QR code, have them scan it, and then as soon as they scan it, it pops up. Their phone's already ready to text. All they have to do is the words of, hey, send me more information about the keyword. And it was great talking to you, Terry. This is, and then it leaves them a blank to type in their name. So everything they need to text me for them to be able to trigger this thing I've already got set up, it populates their phone already. It pulls up their text, populates the text that's going to go out. All they have to do is hit send. I can't do that for them. But once they do that, they have now, and that all comes about through them scanning a QR code. So that's just one way that's not even in the guide here. That and I'm doing about 3 or 4, because based on your triggers that you've got set up, this could be done for restaurants with a menu, and then prompting them to go ahead and order, sending them to a payment, all different types of things that you can do because you've got an automation system in the back. Sometimes it's more difficult to get them to that front door, that entrance of that, because they've got to be able to remember the number and then type in what was the keyword again, or what did he tell me to say. Whereas if they just scan this code, they hit send, it's done. It's scan, send. That's all there is to it. So that's the power of the QR. So I want to get into, these 60 creative ways that you can use QR codes. And here's the other thing. Understand when they are effective and when they're not. What you want to do with a QR code is take someone in the real world. They're in the church, they're in the school, they're in a restaurant, they're in a place of business, they're at your house visiting, and you need to convey something to them through digital means. That is when it's very effective. When it's not effective is when you are posting graphics that you've designed on Facebook and putting QR codes in them. Now, yes, there might be a case where someone is on their desktop or laptop and then they can grab their phone and scan that. But numbers tell us 80% of traffic online now is already on a mobile device. So it's hard to scan a picture that's already on your mobile device that you're looking at. So it gets a little wonky when you do things like that. That's why it's better to make hyperlinks to text out. So one of the things that people don't understand is not only can you text or hyperlink something to go to a web page, a funnel, or something like that. Of course, you can do that. That's just HTTPS and then whatever the URL address is. You can also hyperlink for people to text or call out. And people don't realize that. A little HTML hack there that if you do that. So on your social media post, a lot of times what I've got is a number there. It says, call or text me now about this. And so when they call or text about that, my AI system is triggering off of that keyword that I already prompted him to, and it's off to the races. Or send me a DM, because you can use it that way. But the QR codes for the real world, when you're in a school, you're in a church, you're in a restaurant, you're in a place of business, you're out in the highways and byways, you're posting signs out in front of a business or a yard that you just did or something like that, highly effective. And here's something you could do in your home right now. Did you know?
Please, folks, I know you're tempted to, but do not panic. Terry and the TW3 broadcast will be back right after this extreme profitable timeout for our sponsors.
Get that phone ringing and hear that register singing with our legs. Get our legs. If your sales are down and funky and need to make some money, get our legs. I say get our legs. Go TerryWilson3.com. That's TerryWilson3.com and get our leads.
Put a boost in your sales today. Go to TerryWilson3.com/lead list and get a list of leads for as low as $2 each. That's TerryWilson3.com/lead list. Stop hoping a sale will come in and get leads that will bring them in. Go to TerryWilson3.com/lead list.
Stop dreading the daily commute. Work from home and earn big. Imagine working for giants like Google, Amazon, or Facebook, all from the comfort of your couch. Our work-from-home customer support roles let you make your own schedule so you can balance life and work effortlessly. And here's the best part. No cold calling. Earn hourly and commission, giving you unlimited income potential. You're not just joining a job, you're joining a revolution in how we work. Ready to take control of your career? Head over to TerryWilson3.com, chat with our friendly bot, and book your interview today. Your dream job is just a click away.
You're listening to TerryWilson3.com, the home of TW3.
Man, that dude is crazy.
That you could give people instant Wi-Fi access through a QR code. QR codes that get scanned connects users to your Wi-Fi without needing to enter a password. There are prompts that you can use to have people be able to scan your QR code and it go right into your Wi-Fi with no password. So if you are a coffee house, or if you are a church, you are some public place that people are always getting on your Wi-Fi, rather than having them to pick the exact Wi-Fi that they're supposed to be going to, and then here's the password that you get into, all you have to do is to access our Wi-Fi, scan here. And that way you're not giving out passwords. You're not even giving out the name of your Wi-Fi or anything. It gives them direct all by setting up a prompt to do that. Number 2, video content. I have done this. We made some Christmas gifts last year where it was a physical item with all kinds of stuff. And then we put a QR code in it to where they could have a video come along with the physical item. But you can link right to a YouTube video, a podcast, or some story right along with, the physical item. Tell you where this works great. If you are constantly having to give instructions to people on a product, good, or service that you sell, then slap a sticker on that baby, especially if it's a physical product that's got a QR code, and right there's your manual. You don't have, and then inside, because it's digital, you can include inside that manual video demonstrations as well, which makes it a whole lot easier. Number 3, social media growth. A QR code can direct users to follow your business on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok. So, that's one of the things that we teach clients how to do is on all of your business cards, or get one of the metal business cards from us, real cheap, get the QR code, and then when they scan it, it gives them your entire V card. They can download your contact information into their phone, so it's contact now. They can connect with you on social media. They can connect with you if you've got a podcast or blog. All of the different assets that you have online can be connected because you've got a QR code that's taken into that basically tree, link tree that's right there that you can build real cheap, real easy, and do. It's a great way of getting connected. Number 4, give out discounts. If you want to be able to offer private discounts that is not broadcast to the world, but you want to reward people that are in a certain place at a certain time, then you can use a QR code that basically gives them a coupon right there, puts it on their phone. So when they enter and they go to buy whatever, right there they have, I get so much off because I scanned this and I was able to download this discount on this limited deal, which is really cool. It allows you to do check-ins. So instead of paper tickets, guests can QR code for entry. So one of the things that you can do is when you sell tickets, on that ticket, print out a QR code, and that QR code is linked to anyone that has paid. So there's actually software that allows you to print a QR code for entry every time someone makes a purchase of something. So all you have to do is scan it and say, okay, this is tied to invoice, yada, 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 and that invoice is already paid and it passes right through. Very creative way. It also allows you to connect people, and restaurants do all this all the time, and we teach other people how to do this, but it allows you to get reviews, and reviews are huge. I'm telling you, it's not just about your online reputation. I know we talk about this all the time at the podcast here and in our trainings. Reviews is big about your reputation. Yes, you want to have good reviews. That's all. But you also want to have a lot of reviews. You want to have constant reviews. You want to have activity. It is an SEO play. Even if people say something negative about me, if you do it the right way, you leverage it the right way, you're still getting those links and that traffic, and you can do it in a way that mitigates negative reviews, but you get to capitalize on the activity. And there's ways that our reputation management system can do that a lot of people don't, take advantage of. And you need to, because especially in business, it's a very competitive space out there. If you're in certain spaces, I know, because I deal with you guys. That's one way that you can really get ahead of the competition by getting your review stats up. And QR codes allow you to do that. You can plaster it all over your business, your restaurant, your church, your school. Let us know how, I don't know if you want to review your school. It would be funny I wish you could do Google reviews. Back in the day, I had some teachers I could probably have left a review on. Don't get any ideas out there, kids, but that would be funny. Won't stay here again. Real estate. If you're in real estate, you can do your property listing. Every time you put a property listing out there, you can put a QR code that's tied right to a virtual tour. So those things are huge. So as you have people coming by, trying to get a sense of the property and the inside, maybe they can't get in because they don't have an appointment, but it's just going to help you. The more people you can get excited about that property, the amenities that it has, and getting connected to you through that virtual tour. QR codes are huge on that. And of course, we've already talked about your digital business cards. I love realtors and insurance guys because they see the value in these QR codes on their business cards, because it allows them to stay connected and capture information from people that they're trying to work with. Restaurant and hospitality, of course, you got the digital menus, order and pay, customer feedback. You have that. Education and training. I use this all the time when I do sermons and I do various talks outside, and I've got training and I'm doing different things. I will have people to scan, this QR code, and they'll download the PDF file or the training that I'm doing right then and there, so they have a copy of the material that I'm covering. So it's very helpful. And the thing is, I can do some interactive things as well, because I can create things that they populate as well, and they get some feedback through the systems I can create. But I connect them and their phones, all of that through QR. So that's huge, and it's very helpful. Retail and products and packaging, how-to guides, of course. Anytime you sell something, especially if it's technical, a good guide will go a long way in driving your retention and customer experiences up. And so the more you can involve, demos and video demos and stuff like that. But it's huge in retail product packaging, because then instead of having to print this 50, 60 page manual, you've got a sticker on there with a QR code, has all the written copy that they want, but also because it's in digital format, you could have some video stuff there as well. Personal fun and use. Weddings, RSVPs for your wedding, treasure hunts, pet tags, personalized gifts. Like I said, we have gotten some mileage out of personalized gifts. We bought an etching machine to do our cards a couple years ago, and now we're making cutting boards. We're making all different types of things that we etch. And in that etching, of course, we will etch personalized handwritten things by, grandma made her cheddar biscuit recipe. And so we took her handwriting and everything, and we literally etched that handwriting of hers onto a cutting board. But what we talked about we could do is add a QR code at the bottom, and then you could scan it and hear her talk about, this recipe, because we've got old video and stuff. Huge. So you want to talk about taking you make that for someone, all of a sudden a $20 cutting board turns into this immeasurable gift as far as value, because it's connecting them with someone they love, the memory, the heritage, and seeing your family's handwriting there, and then hearing them talk. And I mean, it touches all the senses, and it takes it just from just a regular old cutting board. Business and marketing is huge. I have QR codes that I have set up for booking appointments, for live chat of support, product authentication. Can I say that? Authentication. Authorized authentication. Product authentication. Authentication. I was like, why is that not coming out right? So even someone at Podcast Forever has trips up on words. Authentication, product authentication, verify products authenticity by linking to a database to blockchain records. So huge, especially in the software space. And that's something I'm actually going to start doing, because as our business has grown and our brand has grown, we have found people that's using the TW3 moniker in branding to sell other products, goods, and services, not technically TW3. So that's one of the ways that we're sort of trying to tighten up on our authentication. So QR codes can do that, but you have to have it set up in a blockchain, and there's ways you can do that. Interactive ads include QR codes in a print or digital ads that leads to a personalized experience. Crowdfunding, employee portals. So we have employee portals that we set up for folks that has all of their training material, and they have the ability to track sales, and they have the ability to get training and download content and assets and all that. So all these portals that we set up for businesses and our business as well. A QR code is a quick way, so they don't have to remember, okay, what was the login and all this other stuff that they have to remember. Boom, you can prompt them to go, and it'll even prompt their username and password. It's really, really cool. Some of the things that this will do. Loyalty programs and sign up, back in stock alerts, live inventory check. So that's huge. Ingredients and allergy info. So you could put that on the side of a jar or something. If you're into canning, you're into making, your own recipes and different things, you can put stuff on there. Table reservations, user-generated content, encourage customers to scan and upload their food photos for reviews. Huge. If everybody's got their phone out and they can take pictures, you can have a portal set up right then and there for your wedding photography business, your flower business, anything and everything that you do that you would like to get photos of your work and them experiencing the services of your work and product, goods, and services. You give them a QR code, say take some pictures and upload it right here, and they scan it and it's already got a portal, and boom, it's right there. Really, really great way of allowing your customers to create your content. Merchandise sales is another way that you can use QR codes at events, linking to an online merch store. So if you're a band, if you're someone up on stage and you want to sell your t-shirts, you want to sell your CDs, you want to sell your merch, great way of getting people right to your store right then and there with a QR code. Exclusive behind the scenes content. So if you're an influencer, you're someone out there, people want to know, well, what do they do before they go on stage, or what are they doing afterwards, or one of the things I used to follow years ago, they called it the second bus. There were two buses that brought Chicago, the band, to concerts. The first bus was the original members and, sort of the old school guys that were just sitting in it, and they had their own space. And then the other bus was sort of the new guys. And that was the second bus. And those were the cut ups. They were a little bit younger, and they were fun to watch. And so you could follow on the Chicago fan page, you could follow the second bus and see all the antics and things that they were doing as they were touring the country. It was huge and it was fun. You can connect people to that type of content if they can't find it when you're out and about, and putting that up with a QR code, which is really cool. Okay. Live polls, got questions, surveys. You can connect people to that through a QR code. With the maps and events, one of the things, we have a fall festival every year at our church, and it's at a farm in the county over. And so to get directions, and so people can load it into the Google Maps or iMap or whatever they use, we just say, scan this QR code and click on the link right there of the address, and it'll pull up your maps. And it does it. And it works great. Telemedicine is huge in healthcare right now, and it has been for a while. You can scan a QR code in different literature that you're sending out in your office and instantly book a virtual doctor tour. Of course, prescription refills can be used, fitness workouts, emergency contact info. One of the things that you can do for your kids is, maybe have some sort of QR code put on a necklace or something else that says, if anything happens, scan this and call this person. This is my emergency contact. And one of the things that we're going to start doing with some of the products we're using for churches, when they check in the little ones, they can actually have a QR code printed on the check-in. And so they know if something happens, little Johnny, little Susie gets sick, hurt, whatever, scan that. It pulls up the contact person name and text number right then and there, and you're texting them saying, this is so-and-so in the Family Life Center, this is so-and-so in the nursery, this so-and-so, can you come back because little Johnny's got a runny nose or something like that. So it's a great way of using QR codes that way as well. Homework submissions, you can set that up so that your students can know how to upload their homework. Virtual flashcards can be created through QR codes. Language learning, gamified learning. I love gamified learning. QR codes that unlock quizzes and challenges for extra lessons. Of course, travel and tourism, that's another big way to use the QR codes. You can do a self-guided tour. So if you've got some sort of like the Biltmore House, we used to tie in the old stuff where you had this MP3 player, and now you could go up, scan the QR code. People's already got their AirPods and whatever, and it could give them the guided tour without even having the physical devices. That's the thing about these QR codes. You're taking your content and you're putting it in physical devices that people already have. So if you're a place that's, having a guided tour or something like that, and there's no need to go buy this physical hardware anymore. People already have the hardware. Just access the hardware, and you can do that real easy through a QR code. Hotel room controls. Guests can scan to adjust room temperatures, order room service, or checkout. That's all done because anything that's a prompt, you can program a QR code to give a prompt to any device that scans it. And so that's the thing you got to understand. And so if your room or your amenities are controlled through some sort of online app or some online device, you can connect that person's phone with this online entity so they can control everything they need to right then and there. Lost and found, tags on luggage or rental, that's huge. Hey, if you find this, scan this. It's mine. Get it back. Real estate and home services, smart home controls. QR codes can near appliances, linking to set up guides or control the apps on your smart house. Landscaping and home improvement ideas. Contractors can place QR codes on completed projects, linking to their entire portfolios so the whole neighborhood can see the work that they do, including the work that's in front of them. Of course, neighborhood info, home buyers can scan to see local schools, restaurants, and crime stats, which is really nice. Nonprofits, you can, and we use this a lot, donation portals. So scan here to if you'd like to donate. So you don't have to give out these long links or anything like that, or, text the word give to blah, 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 blah. They might not remember the number. They might be having a hard time with spelling sometimes or typing. But if they can scan it, boom, pulls it right up, and then they fill out and they're off to the races. Of course, we use this all the time with signups. You can use it for signups. Pet adoption info. Shelters can place a QR code on the kennels to link them right to the application to be able to adopt. Personal and social uses, lost item recovery, QR codes on valuables linking to a contact page for the owner so that you can get it back. Fun fact sharing, QR codes on business cards or personal profile linking to fun facts or hobbies about the person. Personalized music. This is something that I've encouraged all bands. Your music is going to be, in today's world, your music is in some sort of digital format. The records and tapes are gone. It's all MP3s somewhere. You store those MP3s on somewhere, and then you can link that through, NFC tap cards, NFC devices, and QR codes. They all work the same way. Wedding guest book and photos. If you are in the wedding business, hear me now, feel me later. One of the things you ought to do is tell everybody there ought to be QR codes posted up here. Please upload your wedding photos to this right here. Scan here. And that way the entire wedding party can get, a holistic view and vantage point of everybody's experience at their wedding to put together, an entire, book of, and photo album of that day and that special day. And that's huge. So that's good. Kids ID tags, for different purposes. Like I was saying before, putting on your backpacks, clothing, stitch it on there. So emergency contact. So you could have that in all their devices. Those are just some of the ways that you can use QR codes. The main thing that I would tell you though, is think about the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to get someone's mobile device, their phone, to do something or go somewhere. Okay. So if they're already on a site, it's a little bit more difficult to put that QR code there. That's when you need a physical link. Okay. But if they are in a physical location, any building, government, church, school, your house, and you want to be able to give them access or digital content or be able to allow them to do something in the things that you own that are on the online space in the clouds, and you need to give them access to it or prompt them to be able to get to it, you can use a QR code, either send them to a website address, either send them to a physical file, a digital file, or a PDF file. It's all digital. Or prompt their phone to do something. Call, text, email. You can prompt phones to do what phones do. Upload anything that you need that phone to do. You can prompt it to do with a QR code. And so if you can prompt it to do something or go somewhere that AI is then involved, then that's just enhancing the experience that the client, the person, can have. So don't poo-poo QR because there's all kinds of things that you can do. And it's more than just, getting people, menus at a restaurant during a pandemic. You can actually do it for other purposes as well. So I hope you got a lot out of today's podcast. If you would like to download this guide, and I just gave you some of the ones that are in this guide with some others. There's tons of them and options in there. All you have to do is go to terrywilson3.com/QR. That's terrywilson3.com/QR. It'll take you right to the page where you can download this e-guide. And hopefully it will stir something up in you that maybe there's not an idea in there that you can use, but that idea will give you another idea for what you do. Till next time, I'll talk to you later.
So we hope you've got a lot out of the content today. Please take a few minutes to give us a 5-star positive review at terrywilson3.com/review. This helps us promote our content and continue to reach more and more people. Again, thanks for being part of the TW3 community here at terrywilson3.com. Please like and share our content, and we will see you soon.
Meet Jim. When Jim first opened his small lawn care business in Akron, Ohio, He was excited but quickly faced a tough reality. His business was new and virtually unknown, and despite all the hard work he put into his services, he struggled to get inquiries. People couldn't find his location, and his online presence was practically non-existent. Jim knew he offered a great service, but without a steady stream of customers, he couldn't sustain the business for long. Jim's biggest frustration was that he had an excellent lawn care service, but no one was finding him. He tried posting on social media, handing out flyers, and even running a few ads, but the calls just weren't coming in. His website wasn't attracting traffic, and when potential customers searched for lawn care in Akron, Jim's business was nowhere to be found. The lack of inquiries was disheartening, and Jim was beginning to worry about the future of his company. Then Jim discovered TW3. After a free consultation, he decided to join their platform and implement their integrated business solutions. In just a few months, the transformation was remarkable. With TW3's AI-powered system, Jim was able to ramp up his capacity far beyond what he originally thought possible. Calls began to flood in, so much so that he could no longer handle all the inquiries himself. TW3's AI system took over, booking appointments, answering calls, and even sending out billing automatically. Jim's workload was lightened, and he could focus on delivering the best service possible while the TW3 system handled the administrative tasks. With his newfound ability to manage inquiries efficiently, he no longer worried about missing calls or double booking appointments. His business was thriving, and his reputation began to grow. The real game changer for Jim wasn't just the increase in inquiries, it was how TW3 consolidated everything he needed into one seamless platform. Before TW3, Jim was juggling over 20 different services and software tools, each with its own monthly bill. Between scheduling apps, customer management software, billing systems, and marketing tools, the costs were adding up, and nothing worked well together. With TW3, Jim was able to cancel all those services and run everything through one integrated system, saving him over 80% of what he had been paying before. Even better, TW3 provided training and support to help him get the most out of the system. No more patching things together. Everything was streamlined and built to work as one cohesive unit. Jim's story is just one of many, and you can read more about it in the About section at Terry Wilson 3. If you're a business owner facing similar challenges, Jim's success can be your story too. To see how TW3 can help you grow your business, go to terrywilson3.com now and book a free one-on-one coaching call today. Just like Jim, you could soon be enjoying a thriving business, streamlined systems, and more inquiries than you can handle, all with the support and technology of TW3.
Hey Terry, just wanted to tell you how much I really appreciate all you've done for us.
This story comes from Chapter 9 entitled, Sometimes People Get Stuck.
Sometimes in life, people get stuck at times, caught up in situations they can't quite see their way out of it. I remember one day after school when I walked into such a moment myself. As I stepped off the school bus, I heard this loud banging noise as soon as I walked through the front door of the house. And it was coming from a room somewhere just beyond the kitchen. Curious, I made my way toward the sound. When I got to the kitchen, I found my mom and grandfather standing there, shaking their heads in frustration. My grandfather was sipping on his coffee, and neither one of them looked too thrilled with whatever was happening in the other room. So naturally, I asked him, "What's all that noise?" Without even looking up, my grandfather just pointed toward the restroom off the kitchen and said, "You'll have to go see for yourself." So I walked over to the restroom, opened the door, and there it was. Inside was this gentleman my mom had hired to move our old metal bathtub. But here's the thing. He was standing inside the tub while trying to lift it out. And his wife, bless her heart, was there too, standing on the side, cheering him on. You almost got it, she kept yelling. I could barely keep from laughing. I quickly stepped back and shut the door before they could see me. I went right back to my grandfather, still shaking in my head in disbelief. Why don't you tell him that won't work? I asked. He's literally standing in the bathtub while trying to lift it. And my grandfather, without even looking up from his coffee, just grinned a little and said, "Oh boy, we've been trying to tell him, but he won't listen." I couldn't believe it. Then why is he still trying? So I asked. My grandfather took a slow sip of his coffee, looked up at me with that familiar half smile and said, "Because son, he's stuck on stupid.
Hey, we all can get stuck sometimes and do things that later we feel stupid about. This story comes from Chapter 9 entitled Sometimes People Get Stuck. Get unstuck today. Go to yourworthmorebook.com and get a free sample copy of You Are Worth More.